welcome back to my channel. So yes, I have these bangs, this bang wig. Make my brush. I wanted to try something new. I've been wanting to try bangs for actually a while now because, you know, I have a big forehead, so I wanted to try bangs just to see how it look, because I like how I look in hats. So I'm like, all right, I probably like how I look in bangs because it covers my huge forehead. So yeah, I just got this wig today. I just wanted to test it out. But yes, I've been gone off YouTube for like 3 months now, you know, with all the virus stuff going on and me adjusting to working from home. It's just been like really hectic, but I've had a lot of time on my hands, so I really had no excuse. My biggest excuse actually was my hair not being done. So I let my hair breathe for like the past 2-3 months while we've been in quarantine, but you know, now I'm back in action. Then I got my hair done. So my first video that I want to do coming back was actually a video, well, this was like 2 parts. Like, it was one half of the video was like my budgeting and like how I budget my money and how I make my spreadsheet. That was the one I put on Instagram, and I said, like, you know, people were DMing me saying that was a good idea, but I realized that it's gonna be too much in one video, so I'm gonna split it, because the video also, you know, as you can see by the title, has to do with credit scores. So I think talking about like how I improve my credit score, just credit score in general, is going to take up too much time to have budgeting and all that other stuff combined. So this video is strictly just going to be about credit scores, and the next video I make will be about how I budget, how I make my Excel spreadsheet and all that stuff. But yes, so like I said, this video, like you can see in the title, is specifically about credit score and like how to build your credit and how I got my credit score so high at a young age. But by the time I was 22, my credit score was already like in the mid to high 700s. It's kind of steady there for a while. Like it's still stayed in that range. It hasn't improved that much since, you know, in the last year. But you can see the screenshot right here. I was able to get my credit score up like 141 points in 1 month. Like, I'm not even kidding. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly how I did it in this video. So my throat, I have allergies. I don't have the virus, I don't think. Coronavirus! But okay, so just like a brief background. Just, you know, people might be like, what do you know about any of this stuff, blah blah blah. Well, first of all, I have my own like knowledge, you know, my own research, but I do have 2 degrees in accounting. I have my bachelor's and I have my master's in accounting. I got both of those before I was 22. Well, before I was 23. I got both of those when I was 22 years old. So yeah, having the knowledge, obviously, of being an accounting major and being an accounting graduate and working kind of in the field, you know, of financials and all that other stuff. Like, I just feel like I you know, I have pretty knowledgeable about financial literacy and credit scores and all that stuff. So that's just a little background. So like I said, in this video, I'm going to talk about how to build your credit score, how to improve your score, and why credit is important. Sorry if I keep looking down a lot. I have notes. You know, I'm trying to be organized so I don't ramble. But okay, so yeah, I said I'm talking about how to build your credit score, how to improve it, if you know you're trying to improve it, and just like why your credit is important, your credit score, and blah blah blah. So before I get into that, like real quick, let's just go over some quick facts and some definitions. So hopefully most people know this, but if anybody doesn't know what exactly a credit score is, credit score is like, it's a 3-digit number, and it relates to how likely you are to repay debt. So, you know, banks, lenders, and all that, they usually, you know, they use it to decide whether they'll approve you for a loan, you know, a credit card, anything like that. So, you know, it's simple. It's basically like your score that people are looking at, like lenders, people who are giving you money. They're looking to see how, you know, if this person gonna pay me back, because I'm loaning you money, are you gonna pay me back? So your score is like a rating. It's like, you know, when you rate your Uber driver, like you're rating it for a service, your Uber driver rating for them, you know, for their service. The credit bureau, they're rating you on if you could pay people their money back. So, you know, it's pretty simple. So credit score usually, you know, ranges from 300 being like the lowest, being poor, and 850 being excellent. So yeah, I'm almost like I'm a little less than 100 points away from excellent. Yeah, so here's the chart. I'm gonna show you. You can see all the information. So you might be wondering how exactly your credit score is created, like what makes up your credit score. So basically you have 3 credit bureaus. You have Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. It's 3 of them. And they're the ones who come up with your report, your credit report. These bureaus, they use like credit rating models to come up with your score, but also like obviously the main impact of how your score is created is how you repay your debts. You know, based off how often you make payments, how many accounts you have that are in good standing. This is a whole bunch of factors. So essentially you create your score. Like the credit bureaus, once your what's it called, once your social security number is ran, and you know, we all know we all have social security numbers, we're basically tracked by the government, so everything is tracked. And when you get loans and all that, you apply with your social security card. So once your numbers in, you know, your numbers in the system, like your social security number is in the system, so once you have loans out in your name, it's all reported, and these credit bureau agencies, they are notified and they build your score. So that's how you create your scores. Whenever you open up your first account, which I'm gonna go into the different type of accounts, but when you first open up your accounts, then your score is essentially created. So lastly, before we get into me, let's talk about account types, like I just said. So you have 2 types of debt, like 2 types of accounts that are accounted for in your credit score. You have installment accounts, and then you have revolving accounts. So we're gonna go into real quick what the difference is between the 2. I'm gonna have all these notes. Okay, so an installment account is loans that you borrow a fixed amount and you agree to make a monthly payment towards the overall balance until the loan is paid off. So you're basically, installment loan is like it's a fixed cost, and you're paying the same fixed amount every month. Every month your payment is exactly the same, and you agree to this up front, like before, like when you're signing the contract, when you're signing all like the what do they call it, the what's the thing called when you sign? So yeah, like when you are signing a contract, you're agreeing up front to a fixed amount. So like you'll see, this is the amount of the loan, this is the amount you're going to pay every month for the term of the loan. You know, whether you pay this amount for the next 48 months, the next whatever is after 48 in terms of what is it, 60 months, you know, so you're agreeing up front to a monthly fixed amount. So example, student loans, you know, student loans, you find out what your tuition is, or your, you know, your semester balance, and then you agree this is how much you're going to pay at this time for every month. Personal loans, a mortgage, those are all installment loans. Revolving is associated, you know, typically with credit cards. That's like the most popular revolving account. But you know, it could also include some home equity loans. But revolving is basically you have a credit limit, like a credit card, obviously, and you make at least the minimum monthly payment. So your minimum monthly payment is not fixed. It could change. Like for example, with my credit card, my minimum monthly payment is like $15, but when I spend over, I think $500, my minimum payment goes up to like $50. So like your monthly payment changes usually based off how much you spent of your credit limit. So revolving credit, it fluctuates. So it doesn't usually have a fixed term. So that's basically the 2 differences. That's revolving, which is usually just credit cards, and installment, which is fixed amounts, mortgages, student loans, cars, all that. So yeah, that is basically a brief background of credit score, how it's created, the different types of accounts, and yeah. So try to make this not super long, but the first tip I want to talk about is your credit history and how long you've had your credit history. So the first tip for you guys is to start building your credit as early as possible. How long you have credit is actually a factor. Like a lot of people don't realize that, but it makes sense. Like if your credit history is only 2 years old, you've only proven that you could pay your payments for 2 years, compared to somebody who has a credit history of 10 years. They show that consistently for 10 years they could pay their stuff back on time. You showing you could pay your stuff on time for 2 years is not saying much, you know, like it's not, you need to have a long history. So I know we're young, and that's why this video is for young people. For people who might be my age, you know, if you don't have credit, you should probably start now. But you know, people who are younger, if you're 18, like how I was when I first opened up my first account, that's the age I feel like you should when you're 18. Honestly, you could do it earlier. Like if your parents are very like knowledgeable on this stuff, and like they could open up loans for you like in your name. I'm pretty sure my parents didn't do it for me, so I'm not 100% sure, but I know there's ways like you could sign your child onto a loan, and you could, like, you as a parent could pay back the loans with time, and your child's credit score will be, you know, boosted up because of your payments. But as you know, having a loan out in your own name, age 18 I think is the best age. That's when I did it. I got my credit card. That was the first thing I did. I think everybody should start with the credit card. So yeah, when I was 18, that's when I got mine. Right now I'm 23. I'm turning 24 September. So the length of my history is about 6 years. 6 years. And also when you go to school, like usually you're 18, student loans are taken out in your name too. But student loans, even though you'll have them on your credit history, they're not really going to benefit you. They'll benefit you in the terms of that's the account you have, but you're not really paying your student loans while you're in school. So you should get a credit card. You know, you gotta start somewhere. So find credit card companies that, you know, have very little bit requirements, and you know, they'll take a low to poor score. I had to do some research for anybody who wants to know. I used this is my very first and only credit card. Still have it. It is First Financial Bank in USA. It doesn't even sound real, right? I like that it was gold. But yeah, that's the credit card that I have, and they like are good for college students. They're not good in terms of interest. Like their interest is horrible, and usually interest is going to be bad on credit cards that are allowing people with bad credit or no credit history, because that's how they get you. You know, like there's always some type of loophole. So you gotta be careful, because sometimes that's how they get you with interest, and interest usually on these type of cards that target young people are really high. So, but you have to start somewhere, and I think, you know, that's the best age is 18 to start your credit history, because that length matters. Number 2, this should be kind of obvious, but for a lot of people, people have different circumstances, but make on-time payments. You know, in terms of your credit card, always use your credit card, but yeah, basically make on-time payments. But as far as, like I said, using your credit card, even like, you know, if you don't want to be the type to rack up your credit card, then don't. Like, use your credit card for gas, use it for groceries, use it for maybe a pair of shoes, and at the end of the month, pay that balance off in full. But I feel like no matter what, even if you don't want to use your credit card, and like you feel like you're, you know, like I paid off my credit card and I don't want to use it anymore, just continue to use it. Like, just do small purchases, but you should always have some type of balance that you're paying on, because then you're still growing your credit score, you know, like constantly paying. Like, even if you charged your card like $10 and then you pay that $10 off at the end of the month, at least it's something, you know. It's not just your card's not sitting there, because if you're not making payments, then you're not building your score, because you're not showing that you could pay anything on time and consistently, you know. So always use your card. You can pay the balance off every month, like I said, but use it because you need to build your history. Like, you need to show that you can pay your debts, and the only way you can show you can pay your debts is by creating debt and paying it off. But yeah, like I was just saying before that, pay your bills on time, and at least the minimum. Like in terms of credit card, at least pay the minimum. I recommend paying more than the minimum so you don't get killed with the interest, but you should always be paying on time. Like, I know stuff happens, but you know, have emergency money, or don't spend more than you could afford, but always pay your bills on time, and that's pretty straight to the point. And don't have any late payments or derogatory marks. So usually they give you a grace period, but you shouldn't be paying your stuff late or missing them. So that's obvious. All right. Okay, so now that I went over talking about like credit cards and paying your bills on time and all that, I want to talk about my story and how I got that huge jump in points. This is where it gets tricky, because I don't necessarily advise this, like what I did, but I'm sharing it because this is, you know, what changed my score drastically. And you know, 141 points. So when this happened, this actually wasn't intentional. And that's why I'm sharing this, just because, like, you know, this could help for other people. So I'm sharing it because it's like, why not share what worked for me? But this wasn't intentional. Like when I did this, it wasn't the plan for this to happen. Like I did not think my score was going to go up that high in such a short period of time. Like I said, this is crazy advice, but this is my story, you know. I wrote it down just so I won't miss details, but this is my story. So with my credit card, like I said, that I used it for college textbooks. Like that was like the primary reason. Like when I got the card, I worked in high school. Like I've been working since I was 15. You know, it was almost 10 years of me making money. Cause I don't play. I've always wanted my own stuff, and I've been working since I was 15. So I got my own money, my own stuff. So when I was in high school, like working at ShopRite, which is a grocery store, I was saving money every paycheck. Like I was saving since I was a teenager. It's just been a part of me to do that. But I've been saving. I used to save every paycheck, like I think like $20 a paycheck. So by the time I went to college, I had like over $1,000 saved up. So that was like supposed to be my spending money freshman year of college, because I didn't want to work freshman year. So my credit card wasn't really meant for spending money because I had my spending money. It was more so meant for textbooks, because, you know, my parents didn't really help me with that type of stuff. You know, it was expensive, and like they have 3 kids who are close in age. Like, yeah, I wish they would have been helped, but it didn't happen. So I had a job on campus too my sophomore year. So even though, you know, I had the job, I was supposed to use it for textbooks, I ended up using my card for wigs. You know, I ended up using my card for makeup, clothes sometimes, food off campus, because, like, you know, campus food gets boring. And you know, for partying, and Kanye West tour tickets. So, like, you know, you see the card was supposed to be for textbooks, but I ended up using it for other stuff that I should have been purchasing with money that was coming out of my paychecks and all that stuff. But it didn't happen that way. So I'm gonna show you the clip of how much my credit card was, like how much I spent, because I think I have a screenshot here. I did not spend this much. I'm gonna let that be clear, but like I said, the disgusting interest rate for this company made it seem like I spent so much money. But, you know, you can see right here, people all had the same issues of this credit card company when it comes to the interest and taking advantage of college kids. But so I ended up maxing out my card. My limit at that time was $7,000. Right now it's $10,000. But at the time, my limit was $7,000, and I went over that. But I didn't spend $7,000. I'm telling you, I didn't spend that. The interest was crazy. I'm telling you, that interest was like 30-something%. It was sick. So yes, this company, which is crazy, this company kept giving me like a higher credit limit. Like, even though I was spending a lot, they kept giving me a higher credit limit. Like, I think when I got this car, my credit limit was like $3,000. The next thing I looked, it was $5,000, and then it was $7,000. I'm like, why is it still going up? And I was at $10,000. So I don't know. That's why I think they are scammers, because they just like, why are you giving me this much money to spend? Anyway, so yeah, basically being a college student, having all that money on hand, they knew what they was doing. But basically on my end, like, I was pretty screwed. So I paid my bills one time my whole life. Never missed a payment. I don't got no derogatory, no late, no missed, nothing like that. Even when I was a little struggling college student, my bills were paid with no help. So I didn't miss payment, but the minimum wasn't cutting it. So even with me putting the minimum payment down, it wasn't cutting it at all, because the way with the interest works, like I was paying down like the minimum, which was like 100, I think, at the time. But you put down 100, and now you have like $25 of interest. So basically, you only paid 75. So you had to exceed the minimum. But I wasn't doing that. So this is when things changed. You know, me being a savvy little accounting student slash grad, I was like, let me refinance this loan. So that's what I did. Like, that's really important for you guys to take. If you're gonna take anything from this video, get into refinancing. So basically what refinancing is, it's like when you basically, like, you have a loan and then like you apply for another loan to pay off that loan, but the loan that you apply for has a better interest rate, or like shorter terms, or maybe longer, maybe you need longer time to pay it off. So you're basically just like moving the debt somewhere else. So that's what I did. So I did my research and I found Marcus by Goldman Sachs. And Marcus is weird. Weird name, like, why is it called Marcus? But Marcus by Goldman Sachs. So I found this personal loan provider. It had a better interest rate and it had like a pretty decent term. So I think like 3 years. So refinancing to another loan was like the best option for me. So yeah, like I explained, refinancing is basically just moving the debt around to, you know, to get a better interest. Like, so you end up paying less. You end up paying less of that debt back than you would if I kept paying that credit card down. I would have ended up paying more than I did with the loan, the personal loan I have. So yeah, basically, like I said, had high credit card debt. I maxed out and I refinanced it. I found Marcus by Goldman Sachs and got approved. It was the third place I actually looked at too. I kept getting denied. I got denied from 2 different places before applying, and I got approved. $7,000 got put into my bank account, and I paid that card off. I was like, thank God. I was so tired of this card. It just felt like a good feeling to like just pay it off, even though I technically didn't pay it off. Cause now I got a $7,000 loan that I got from Marcus by Goldman Sachs. I owe them their money back. So it just was good not to owe this credit card scamming company back, even though I still have the card, because closing a card and closing an account could mess up your credit. So it's not. That's why I didn't close that card. I probably won't ever, because closing out accounts is something that can negatively affect your score, just so you know. Like after this happened, that's when my score went up 141 points. Like when I paid off that card and refinanced, my score went up 141 points. And I literally was sitting there like, wait, this is crazy. I never heard of this happening to anybody before. Like I was just like really like stunned. I was like, wait, how did my score go up that much? Like, people literally, it takes them forever to get their score in the 700 range, and here I am, just turned. I wasn't even 22 yet. Wait, was I? No, I wasn't. I wasn't 22. I was still 21, because this is when the summer when I just graduated from college, and I was trying to get my car. I was 21. That's even better. I was 21 and my score was like 740. After this big boost. So that was crazy, and that was like my motivation for refinancing, was that I wanted my first car. So to get a good car, to get a good rate for a car, you had to have a good score. So that was my motivation. You know, I was determined to get a good score before getting my car, because a nice score means better interest rate for a car. And yeah, I'm a woman of my word. I made it happen. So basically, like, my logic to maybe why my score went up so high like that quick is that credit cards, like, they're really high impact on your credit score. Just like, you know, like they're like probably like one of the highest impacted loans that you would have on your credit report. But you know, since it's a really high impact on the scores, so even though I still had the debt in the form of a personal loan, it's no longer labeled as the high impact credit card, you know. So even though I still owe that $7,000 to Goldman Sachs, but I don't owe that $7,000 anymore to the credit card company, which the credit card company is a higher impact on my score than the personal loan company. So I think also that adding a new report, like, account, adding the Marcus personal loan to my report made my score go. So I made my score go up. So I think the two things combined, because the more accounts, the better. So adding another account and moving that debt away from the high impact credit card is what I think made my score go, like, shoot up. Because I was shook. I was like, whoa. I was just expecting to hit 700. I wasn't expecting to hit like 740 something. And I know people are weird about, like, oh, don't share your score. Like, what are you guys gonna do with that information? Like, people are just so extra. What are you gonna do with the information about my score? Like, I don't care. I'm very open. But let me see. So yeah, so that's why, like, this advice could be for somebody who might be in a similar situation, as far as, like, you know, if you have a credit card that you might have maxed out, or, you know, you owe a lot on. I would do what I did and refinance it to a personal loan. Find a personal loan with a lower interest rate than your credit card and refinance it. And, like, you know, this is not a guarantee that it will work, but it will work. Like, not a guarantee that your score will go up as high as mine did, but I'm saying, like, it will work regardless. Like, your score will still go up regardless. I mean, if you don't have credit card debt, I don't know if I would advise you to do this, because, like I said, it wasn't on purpose. I wouldn't advise you go rack up your credit card and refinance it, because I don't know, it worked for me, but I feel like if you're not in that situation already with all that credit card debt, just don't do it. So almost done here. So next, like I said, like, we're gonna talk accounts. I touched base on accounts earlier, you know, in the video, but like I was mentioning with adding the Marcus personal loan, the more accounts the better, but not too much. I'm gonna put the screenshot right here with the recommended amount of accounts, but I actually think, like, I'm remembering right, it's like 15 to 21, or even over 21. Like, it's good to have a lot of accounts, and you need to have a good diverse mix of accounts too. So like I said, you should have some installments and you should have some revolving, like what I mentioned earlier. You should have a little bit of both. And another thing too, like, where I feel like my score kept going up is because, like, between me being a freshman in college to me getting, you know, going to grad school, every semester new student loan accounts were being added to my credit, like, report. So every semester each loan counted as a new account on my report. So I have a lot of accounts. I think I have like 14. So, you know, like I said, I had the student loans that were stacking up before I even graduated. I had my credit card, I had a personal loan, I have my car. I don't know if you don't get your car in your name, I don't know if it goes in your report. I'm not sure, but my car is in my name. Like, everything is on my name, so my car is on my credit report. And you know, right after I got that huge 141 point boost, I added my car, because that was the point of me making sure I got my score up, was to get a good interest rate. And yeah, you should just have a diverse mix. Like, have a credit card, have some student loans on there if you're a student, have a personal loan on there, have a mortgage if you're a homeowner. Like, I'm not there yet, but that'll be something that's gonna be added when I'm a homeowner. Have a car. You should have a good mix, and you should have a few accounts, because the more accounts the better, because you're showing the credit agency I could pay bills for 6, 7, 8 different accounts one time in full. So that's proving more that, okay, like, you can handle all these accounts. Like, that makes them trust you more. That's why your score goes up, because they can trust that you're gonna pay for their loan. Like, if they see that you can't handle a lot of accounts, then they might not think, you know, that affects your score. Like, they might think, okay, this girl, like, you know, she could pay off her credit card and her car. What else? Like, you need to impress these people. I don't even think it's real people, but you need to impress these people. Like, you need to impress them. You need to have multiple accounts. You need to show that you could handle all these accounts. Like, that's what makes your score go up. Handling a lot of different accounts and showing, okay, I can still pay all these people back. So you see I pay all these people back on time, so you could trust that I'll pay you back when you want a loan from, you know, someone else. So, pretty simple. Certain bills and, like, you know, certain bills or accounts are not considered installment or revolving, just to let you guys know. So service, you know, things like service, like utilities, phone bills, even paying an apartment, like your rent, none of those are part of your credit score. The only time they do impact your score is if you miss a payment, which is pretty messed up, right? Like, if you pay your apartment rent, like, on time, you pay your phone bill, all that stuff, it's not marked on your credit score. But if you don't pay it, then all of a sudden it could affect your score. So it's kind of weird, right? It's a little messed up, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
But yeah, like I said, stuff like a home loan, automotive loan, credit cards, student loans, try to keep the high impact accounts like your credit card low. Like try to keep those low because that's what messes you up. So that's the thing, like have a lot of accounts, but make sure of all those accounts that you're keeping the high impact ones low. So this is the exact quote from this Experian website. It says, credit mix or diversity of your credit accounts is one of the most common factors used to calculate your credit score. So this is actually one of the most common factors. It also is one of the most overlooked by consumers. Like it is overlooked. Like it's something I didn't think about. Like I was like, wouldn't that be a bad thing having too many accounts? No, it's better because you're proving that you could pay multiple things at once. Maintaining different types of credit accounts such as mortgage, personal loan, and credit card shows lenders you can manage different types of debt at the same time. It also helps them get a clearer image of your finances and ability to pay back debt. While having a less diverse credit portfolio won't necessarily cause your scores to go down, the more types of credit you have, as long as you make on-time payments, the better. Credit mix accounts for 10% of your score, and it could be an influential factor in helping you achieve a top score. So like that could be the thing that pushes you over the edge to get to that 700 if that's what your goal is, or get to that 750 or that 800. So yeah. Okay, and like I said, the service accounts such as utility and phone bills are not automatically included in your credit file. They're not. But they said it actually is changing, so we'll see. Things are changing. We are almost done. Like I know I just said that, but 2 more bullet points I have. So now we're going to talk about credit impact. So the things that impact, you know, your credit score in a bad way, like things that negatively impact your score. Obviously, the main one is not paying your bills like at all or on time. Skipping payments, you know, is like pretend like your loans and your debt is a person. Like you owe people money. You know, it's like you owe these people your money. So obviously, if you're not paying people, like imagine you don't pay your friend back. Like your friend's losing credibility in you. Like I'm like, okay, I know maybe I'm not gonna give this girl no money next time because she's probably not gonna pay me back. Same with your credit score. Okay, I don't know if we're gonna let this girl get this loan because she's not paying so and so back, so I don't trust her. That's how your score goes down. The same way your credibility goes down as a person is the same way your score might go down, because it shows your habits. So that's obviously the main thing that makes your score impacted negatively, is not paying your bills on time or skipping them. That's bad, very bad. Using too much of the available money on your credit card, like, or your credit limit. So like if you're using like 50%, like if you're using more than half of the amount you have on your card, like it's bad. You had to try to keep that your usage very low. Like try to, even if you're gonna use your card, like I was saying earlier, keep it on a low usage. Like use like a very small percentage of it so you can easily pay it back. The more you owe back, basically the worse it looks on your score, because it's like obviously your score is gonna get affected if you owe a lot of back. Like, you know, it's one thing using your credit card here and there, like for, like I said, like gas every month. But if you're using a lot of it and it just keeps stacking up, your score, you know, it will negatively get affected because you're stacking up that debt. And it's like, all right, this girl owes more and more money, she just keeps borrowing money. It's just like your credibility, like I said, is getting lower, because it's like, all right, sis, like you keep spending this card, you're gonna pay this back, like, you know, it's your credibility is ruined, so your score goes down. Like I said, keep it low. Even though, you know, my child is college student spending, you know, it worked in my favor as far as the refinancing, but it's like, just do your best to keep it low. It worked for me being a child is college student, but it might not work for everybody. And by the way, too, I want to mention that personal loan I have is going to be paid off soon. Like my goal was to pay it off before I move out, which I'm moving out in January. So yeah, it's been almost 2 years since I refinanced, so it's almost paid off. I've been paying off faster than anticipated because I got a new job. Anyway, so don't apply the too many loans in a short period of time. Like this is something else that negatively impacts your score, is you know, applying the too many loans in a short period of time. So like it could be the same day or like the same week. So even if it's like a soft pull, like a soft pull is when you get like a quote. Like if you go to a website and you can say like, let me get a quote on this loan, like it's basically a fast application to see if you like, it's kind of like getting pre-approved or getting a quote. That's like a soft pull, meaning like it doesn't really, like, it touches the surface of your credit report. It doesn't go deep, do a deep dive into your report. So it's considered a soft pull. So it's like you're just getting like surface level information. So, but even if you do a lot of those soft pulls, they could, you know, compile up to a bad impact So don't apply to a whole bunch of loans at once, and don't apply to multiple loans and accept multiple loans in a short period of time, because you could accept a loan and they'll do a deep dive into your report, but you might not have, like, you don't do a promissory note. Like, you could get like approved, you could apply for a loan, do the whole deep like application process, get approved but not accept it. So doing that is bad, especially multiple of those, because once you actually take this step forward into the application process, like further than a soft pull, they're doing a deep dive into your credit report, and it's considered a hard pull. So hard pulling like all that information from your report multiple times back to back is not good. So it's like when you're doing all that, or like agreeing, even when you agree, like apply for a loan and accept it, like, and you get like a credit card or a personal loan, you'll see like every time you add an account, your score is going to drop a little bit, maybe 5-10 points. That's normal, but imagine you're applying to a lot of loans at once and accepting all those loans back to back to back. Your score is going to drop like 30-40 points. Like, apply for a loan and accept it, and don't apply for any more loans for maybe like a few months. Give it like 2-3 months. So yeah, that's not good. Like even checking your own score, like on creditkarma.com, if you check your score too many times, like back to back to back, like every day, that's not good. So like I would recommend signing up to get monthly reports. Like they can send out your score monthly in your email, or like my bank, I can show you real quick, like on my credit card, on like for my bank, for Capital One, they give me credit reports. So you could, like, I don't know if people's banks have them, but my bank has the option to get credit reports. So like, don't want to show you guys my money, but see how it says credit? It says credit wise. So like every month, I, like, you know, when I'm checking my bank account, like I could see my credit score below, and I get like a monthly update. Yeah, look at your banks, like Bank of America, Capital One, like look to see it, and like most of the time, like they'll have an option where you can see. Like, I don't know if any other banks do it, but I know mine does, Capital One. So yeah, and obviously the biggest thing, like one of the biggest things besides not paying, but no, this is like the biggest thing you do, defaulting on your loans. Defaulting is like basically saying I can't pay this loan anymore, and like basically you get bailed out by like the government. I don't know. Like basically you can't pay the loan anymore. Like the loan it does just disappear, but it hurt your score bad. Like defaulting means like you can't afford the loan, or you just chose not to pay it anymore. You know, for example, like a bankruptcy or a foreclosure on a house. And this is bad. Like your score could be impacted for years. I'm talking about 8, 9, 10 years. So you never want to do that. Although your debt will just disappear, 8, 9, 10 years is a long time for you to not be able to get a new car, not be able to become a homeowner. You might be in a relationship and like you're affecting your partner and your decision that you guys make as a couple because your finances are messed up. Like it's just no, don't default if you can't. If that's like your last resort, I get it, but just don't avoid that at all costs. All right, and the last point, this is gonna be a long video, I'm so sorry, but it's very informative. So if you want to watch the whole thing, and if you're still here, thank you. But you know, I'm trying to get free knowledge, okay? This is free knowledge, this is free information coming from someone like me. Like, you're everyday person. Like, I'm not up here in a suit talking all professional. Like, this is me being an everyday person who's smart but cute, you know. So I'm just trying to give the keys for free in a more chill way. So if you're still here, thank you. Okay, so to wrap up everything, I'm gonna talk about why having good credit is important. Like, I feel lots of people, they don't realize because we're not really taught about it, but having good credit is very important, and here's why. One, low interest rates on homes. So like me and my boyfriend, we are very, like, you know, he studied economics and I was accounting, and his parents are just very financially like well off and very like financially literate. So we're just like, it's like ingrained in our heads to be financially literate. That's why I'm still in this house right now, because like as much as I want to live with him, we're doing what's going to be the best for us long term and the best for our family. So me and him, we're going to be set because like not only are both of our scores in the high 700s, but right now that's why I'm still home. We're saving for the 20% down payment, which is what's recommended for a home or a condo. It's 20% of the payment of the cost. So we're saving up for that 20% down payment for our first home. Even though we're going to go to an apartment before we go to a house, at least while we're in the apartment, we're going to have that money already saved. Like we're not going to have to worry about saving and stuff, especially while we're paying for rent. Like we're going to have that money saved already. So the homeowner process is going to come to us quicker than us just paying rent and that money going to nowhere, you know. So like I said, we both have high 700 scores and we're saving up that money. So having the 20% down payment plus having really good credit, our interest rate for our house is probably gonna be so low. Like I hate to give out his personal information. He might not, you know, you not get something to this, but even his car that he got, his interest rate, I swear, is like 2%. Like literally, can you imagine 2% interest rate? Like that's crazy. So he has, you know, we're both trying to do his best for us, but that's a really big thing. It's like you'll be paying off the amount, like the principal amount. You'll be paying less in interest, because like imagine you have two people, one person with bad credit, one person with good credit. You guys both get like a $200,000 condo. One person has like maybe 10% interest rate. I don't know, 5%. I'm not good with home, so these numbers might not even be realistic, but like a 10% interest rate and like a 5% interest rate. That person with the 5% interest rate is going to be paying a lot less for that house than the person with the 10% interest rate. Like you're going to be having a higher interest rate, you're going to end up paying more for the house than the other person who has a lower interest rate, you know. If you guys know about interest, and this is pretty self-explanatory, but I'm trying to explain it to people who might not really know how interest works. But yeah, so you know, shout out to me and my boyfriend. I feel like we're doing it, you know, there's no right way, but we're doing it a smart way, or what's gonna work for us in our situation. So yeah, you want to get lower interest rate on loans, like lower interest rates on credit cards. You want to get lower interest rate on a car, like I was talking with a boyfriend. You want to get a lower interest rate on any loan. Lower the better, because that means you're paying closer to what the actual principal is, compared to paying so much more back in interest, or end up sometimes paying more in interest. Having a good credit score basically means approvals are guaranteed. Like when it's time for me and my boyfriend to get our apartment, I'm not stressed at all. I feel like our application is probably gonna be the best one. We're gonna be, all right, you guys come in. We want you guys. Like you don't want to be stressed that you can't get approved. Like you don't want to be embarrassed. Like you at the car dealership and your car, like you're like, ooh, you weren't approved. Like having good credit, your approval is almost pretty much guaranteed. Like you know you're gonna get it. Like you know you're gonna get the loan. You know you're gonna get approved for the car. You know you're gonna get approved for that house, that apartment, that credit card, yada yada yada. So you want to just have that security of knowing that my credit score is good and I'm gonna get approved. I don't want to be like stressed out that, oh, I couldn't get this house, I couldn't get this apartment. Like another thing with having good credit is that loaners can trust you when your scores show that you can be trusted. So, you know, like I was saying earlier, like with the Uber driver situation, the example, you know, when you hire somebody for a service or you go get food, like you look at the ratings and scores, right? Like I know me, I'm a big Yelp person. So before I order food, I'm looking at Yelp reviews. Before you, like you might try a new restaurant, you're looking at reviews. That's the same way. People who are loaning you their money are looking at your report. They're looking at your rating. Your rating is your score. And they're looking at it like, oh, this person shows that they can't pay their stuff on time. This person's score is bad for a reason. So we're not going to give this person this money or this car or this house, because we're not going to trust that you're going to pay this back. And now we're at a loss. You know, that's how the loaners feel when they look at your score. Same way you might feel when you're looking at like a crab leg place. Like, oh, this place, I don't know if I want to give them my money because look at their rating. Their rating's poor. That's how the loaners feel about you. So it's just important to have a good score. I feel a lot of people don't realize how important it is, because they feel like, oh, rich people, if you have the money to buy something, I have the money to buy something. Yeah, but most of us aren't rich, famous people, and most of us won't be. So like, you just have to be realistic, you know. It's like, get your score. Like if you know you can't afford stuff on your own, you have to get a loan. Majority of us in this country are living in debt. You know, this house that I'm living in right now, my parents, this house is not fully paid off. They still owe the bank. and that's the majority of us in this world. So unless you have a generational wealth, so get your score up. Don't think that you're gonna be a SoundCloud rapper and blow up, and that you don't need to worry about your credit score, because it's no guarantee. Not saying that you might not be a SoundCloud rapper, but it's no guarantee in life. But what is guaranteed is that you should get your score up, because that's gonna be the only thing that's gonna propel you forward and beat the system. I guess beat the system. But yeah, like I said, you want to loan money to a friend that you don't trust, right? That you don't trust that will pay you back. It's the same thing. So I was trying so hard not to read from that phone, because a lot of this knowledge, like I do know, obviously, but I'm a Virgo, and I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything, so I wrote everything down. But that's pretty much it. Like, hopefully I can cut this video and make it a little shorter, because I know I was rambling, like I talk so much, but I'm really just trying to help. Like, I have work tomorrow. No, it's a pandemic, so I'm working from home. But it's midnight. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm not huge on this platform. I don't get paid that much for my videos. So this is all out of me trying to help. Like, this is not even a trending topic. Like, this is just me genuinely putting that information out there for people, because me having good credit score literally has helped me so much, like, so far. And it just makes me happy that me and my boyfriend both are like in the same mindset, because like I have no worries for us when it's time for us to get out there and get our apartment. Like, I'm like confident that we're gonna get approved for every single one that we apply for and beat out other applicants. Like, I'm excited, and yeah, like I feel like everything I did in life so far has seemed right so far, even if it wasn't intentional, like my score going up that high. But so I'm just trying to give people advice based off my experiences and like what worked for me. I'm telling you, life feels so peaceful for me for the most part, because of all the decisions I made and sacrifices that I made. And I'm making sacrifices now, so my life could be even more peaceful in the future. So I'm just trying to help people, you know. You could take it, you could not take it. You could think I'm annoying, you could think, oh, she's trying to be the know-it-all and show off her score. No, I'm just trying to help. I'm really just trying to help. I don't care. I'm just trying to help. I wouldn't be sitting here at 1 o'clock in the morning just to show off my credit score. Like, my bed is calling my name. I'm tired. I have a whole job I have to get up for. I'm really just trying to help. So yeah, there's me rambling again. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for my budgeting / spreadsheet. I'm gonna show you guys my spreadsheet and how I budget, and like how I saved $10,000 to move out. You know, I could give you guys a whole thing on that, like how I budget, because like people always ask me, like they always see me wearing all these like expensive sneakers, or like, you know, dressing fairly nice. Like, I got all these lights. Like, I just be buying a whole bunch of random stuff. But at the same time, I got money stacked up. So like, you know, I could do a video. Well, I'm gonna do a video on how I budget, because, you know, from the outside looking in, they might be like, oh my god, this girl spends crazy money on sneakers and clothes, when in reality I don't. Like, I budget like crazy, but you wouldn't know that. So I'm gonna do a whole video on my spreadsheet, show you guys my crazy long spreadsheet. And yeah, that'll be a good video. It'll be a lot shorter than this one, but that's gonna be coming soon. Probably do that maybe in the next few weeks. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, share if you want to share it with somebody who wants to get a better credit score, and subscribe, of course. I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. Please help. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, bye.